Hi guys, this is Klazart bringing another audio commentary, and this time I'm commentating on Game 1 of the OSL Round of 16 Group C matchup between Luxury and July. Luxury playing Zerg in white at the 1 o'clock position, and July playing Zerg in blue at the 10 o'clock position. So this is a mirror matchup. This is Zerg versus Zerg. In fact, this entire group of the OSL is Zerg versus Zerg, and that's interesting to say the least. You've got Luxury, July, Yellow, and one other Zerg whose name I can't think of right now off the top of my head. But it is a little bit disappointing to see so many Zergs in the one group. On the one hand, it's going to result in a lot of Zerg versus Zerg. If you hear that banging, that's just me banging at the burst to tell them to shut up, which they refuse to do. It's really annoying. Anyway, on the one hand, it's good because at least you can be guaranteed that 2 of the Zergs will make it through to the round of 8, and that's going to make the round of 8 a little bit more exciting. That's going to shake up the round of 8. On the other hand, it also means that you're going to see a lot of Zerg versus Zerg contests, which personally are not my favorite as far as StarCraft goes. They can be exciting and dynamic, but often you just see a mirror match, literally in every sense of the word, with both players having identical builds, and it just coming down to who has the slightly better Mutalisk or micro control. But on the other hand, Zerg versus Zerg contests do have the potential to be a lot more exciting than, say, turn versus turn contests, which can go on for hours, and in some cases Protoss versus Protoss contests, which can also lead to stalemates. I think you rarely get a stalemate-ish situation in Zerg versus Zerg. So it'll be interesting to see how this match pans out. July, obviously one of the best Zerg players of all time, has been to the top, been there, done that, looking to re-establish himself, has been threatening to re-establish himself for a couple of seasons now, has been looking relatively sharp this season. We've seen some great StarCraft from him, and I'm hoping he'll be able to pull out the stops and get through this group to the next round, because I think that's when we'll see him shine, when we see him play versus players, versus Terran, versus Protoss players, especially versus Terran players. So July going for a 12 pool, Luxury going for a 12 pool, I would suspect July is doing the same. So both players gone for a 12 pool and extractable. So obviously mirror matchup, both players have decided this is the best way to go on this map, which is Othello. I think this is probably the first Zerg versus Zerg match I've seen on Othello, so it'll be interesting to see how these players utilize the structure of the map. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference to these players, because I don't think any of the features of the map are such that would influence Zerg versus Zerg play. I think we're going to see. But it looks like Luxury sending that drone. It looks like Luxury is going for 2. So both players actually. So that's the power of Othello. Both players choosing to go for a pool into expansion, taking the 12 pool and then putting the hatchery down. So we are going to see slightly more macro. We might see. It'll be interesting to see whether any of the players tries to push ahead with Zerglings with the 2 hatcheries, or whether we see the players trying to get layer up ASAP. Both players obviously mining that gas. So it'll be interesting to see if any player is willing to take a risk and maybe get speed upgraded Zerglings and catch their opponent off guard, although that would be a huge risk to take, and I don't think any of the players will be opting to go for that, especially since you've got the Overlords hovering over each other's bases, and they can see exactly what the opponent is doing. So Luxury slightly ahead, starting up his layer tech, probably just a couple of seconds faster than July in terms of his micro. July starting up his layer tech as well, and it is going to come down a lot just to who has the better micro, who has the better control, and I think that's something that probably you could give slightly to July. July probably has a slightly better micro, in my opinion, compared to Luxury. The OSL is an interesting format. The other thing I wanted to say to you guys is, for those of you who only listen to my commentaries, you should definitely check out Violatax's account, and I have a link. And July just hammering with neutral buildings. Luxury wards him off with his 4 Zerglings. July's got another couple of Zerglings. So both players producing 6 Zerglings to start with, and it's very easy to keep up with your opponent's Zergling count when you can see exactly what they're building. That being said, with the Natural Expo, that is obviously hidden to the opponent, so that's where you can kind of try and produce a couple of extra Zerglings or a couple of extra drones or whatever, something different that you want to do. July trying to just open up that space by taking that neutral building. Looks like he is willing to be a little bit more aggressive, and you can see that the Overlord actually positioned by Luxury can actually see July's Natural Expo, and I think Luxury, and July's actually gotten in with his Zerglings. He's actually trying to hammer that hammer that larvae before it pops. So Luxury started up his Spire. July going in with his Zerglings, trying to take Luxury down, not able to do so. Luxury having more Zerglings left than July. July seems to be persisting with the Zergling attack, and it seems like he's committing himself here. So he manages to take out a decent number of Luxury Zerglings, but he only keeps 3 of his own alive. Luxury's managing to maintain a constant stream and still being slightly ahead on the Spire. July only starting his Spire now, so it looks like July did go for the speed upgraded Zerglings, and unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to pull off an incisive attack with that. Luxury defending quite well and keeping himself himself in the game. July only now starting his Spire. Luxury's Spire way ahead of July's. July continuing to pump out those Zerglings. Luxury's continuing to produce enough Zerglings, and Luxury knows that as long as he can stay in the game, he'll come out ahead and probably take the win versus July. July manages to take that neutral building out to open up the space a little bit for him. I'm not sure if it's not too late. That Spire is almost up for Luxury. Luxury's produced a lot of Zerglings as well, and he's in a strong defensive position versus July, so I think he's going to be okay to cope with July's attack. And July is really going to have to pull out the stops now to try and win this game, because Luxury does seem to have a decentish lead in this game. Yeah, I just want to tell you guys to check out Voilatak's account. I've been doing a lot of dual commentaries with Diggity. Also did a triple commentary, which should be up soon on Voilatak's account. So please do check that out, as a lot of my commentaries do get posted there for those of you guys who subscribe only to my account. At the same time, Diggity will also be doing solo commentaries of some of the matches that were played in OSL Day 1. As you know, the OSL format is different. Looks like Luxury trying to get a creep colony down. July trying to lure those Zerglings out, but the problem with July is, again, he's going to be facing Zerglings that are more spread out, and Luxury with a couple of Scourges popping out to start with as soon as his Spire is up, takes out that Overlord in a hope to slow July down a little bit. July obviously has produced a lot of Zerglings here. Luxury now getting that sunk, what would look like a sunken colony up. July committing himself to the attack. Luxury coming in with his Zerglings. It's just a question of whether or not July's got more reinforcements arriving. He's not really able to get purchase on those Zerglings, and now the sunken is up, so that's going to be it for July. But July has actually managed to get those Zerglings up and into Luxury's base. So July actually, if he can take out a few drones here, that's really going to equalize the game a little bit. Luxury bunching those drones up in a desperate attempt. July's managed to kill, I think, about 2 drones, but that's all he's managed to kill. Luxury's defending has been brilliant. I think he might have maybe taken out 3 drones. Luxury really bunched up those drones quite well, but July's now lost all of his Zerglings, and July was forced to basically run up that ramp, and once the sunken colony was up, and now it's Luxury's turn to counter. Luxury sending his drones in, but July has now gotten his Mutalisks up in time, so he should be able to defend. It's just a question of how much damage Luxury can do. He's got a lot of Zerglings heading towards July's base. I'm not sure if Luxury's actually produced any Mutalisks as of yet. He seems to have produced a lot of Zerglings, and July can actually be quite effective here just by blocking his ramp with Zerglings and using his Mutalisks to hurt his opponent while trying to take advantage of his economy. Luxury, however, has got out about 6 to 8 Scourges heading for those Mutalisks, so July's going to be in a little bit of trouble here. He might find himself in huge trouble. July, it's all going to come down to July's Mutalisk micro, which is obviously legendary, but I'm not sure what he can do against so many Scourges. July surviving against all of these Scourges. Brilliant by July. He survives against masses and masses of Scourges by Luxury, and now he's in a decent position because his economy is obviously superior to Luxury, since he managed to kill some of Luxury's drones, and Luxury's done no damage to July's economy. I'm not sure whether Luxury's trying to build up a few drones, so July now coming in trying to do a little bit more has, put some more pressure on Luxury. He's picked off another couple of drones. He's killed off 2 more drones, and that is critical here. You have no idea what a huge difference that's going to make. So Luxury's got that sunken sitting there. It's made no difference. It's making no difference to his defense right now. July doesn't need to build Zerglings because he's got a lead in terms of Mutalisks. He's also produced a couple more Scourges, and Luxury really in defend and rebuild mode. But at this stage, all July has to do is maintain his lead. He's got so many more drones. I think he's got about 10 to 12 drones compared to Luxury's 4 to 6 drones, although Luxury has divided some of his drones between his National Expo. July sending in another group of Zerglings. Obviously those Zerglings won't be able to do much because of the sunken there, but he might be able to kill the sunken. July picks off another drone, draws the Mutalisk out from Luxury, takes out his Mutalisk, also picks off the Scourge. Absolute brilliant Mutalisk and Scourge micro by July Zerg, and now hammering away at that sunken. A couple more Scourges pop up for Luxury. He managed to do more damage to July's Mutalisk. I think July might actually lose the Mutalisk battle here. He actually, no, he doesn't. He had way more Mutalisks than Luxury, and now this is going to be GG. July's going to take this game. July's also killed the sunken. Luxury GG's. Brilliance by July, the God of War, showing his skills, showing his tactical strength, and just godlike micro, especially that first. And what won the game for July was when Luxury sent in those masses and masses of Zerglings in towards his Mutalisks, and July took out those masses of Scourges in towards his Mutalisks, and July took those Scourges out without taking any damage. And I have to say, I have to take everything back that I said negative about Zerg versus Zerg StarCraft play, because that was anything but dull. A pure adrenaline matchup, and just great StarCraft, especially by July. He's looking in top form, and now having taken the win against Luxury, who's one of the stronger Zergs in the group, he is in prime position to go through to the next round. Looking good, July, looking good. The dream is alive. This is Klazart. Thanks for listening.